Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all well. Happy November. And honestly, I really don't know how to start this video or this live because it, it's a very tragic one. Yeah, obviously, it's the 1st of November, only for us to I woke up this morning, obviously about half five this morning, as I would normally do, and then I grabbed my phone, I went on Instagram, and the first thing that I saw was a tragic news. Tragic news that Davido and Chioma lost their son. I was like, nah, nah. Sorry guys, I might be sniffing, coughing. Excuse me, I've got a cold. I was just like, nah, this can't be real. Like it can't be real. I sat back down and my husband was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I'm okay." Went into the toilet, sat down on the toilet seat, and I went straight onto Punch newspaper, and then I went on to BBC News, and I was just like, "Nah, this can't be." In fact, I was like going everywhere to be sure that this news is not real because I was just like, "Nah, this boy turned 3 less than 2 weeks ago. It was only a baby. Like it's only in Africa we say 3 years. According to in the UK, they will say he's 40, so it will be 48 months or 48 months old. So 12 is only 36 months old. Yes, because 12 months is a year old. Like elder visitors here will say babies are 12 months old, 24 months old, 36 months old. Ifeanyi was only 36 months old. He only turned 3 years old less than 2 weeks ago. Like even right now, I'm still struggling to understand the fact that this boy is no more. And I keep going back to watch the video of when his birthday party where his parents were lovingly holding him, smiling. And the video that I kept going back to watch was that of when he was trying to hit a cake off the table. So there's one that has already been cut into, and there's a cake that's not already been cut into. And Ifeanyi was trying to eat, and I think it was his dad that kind of like pressed his head against the cake, like, okay, use your head, like eat the cake from the table. I kept going back to that video, like, no way. I still find it really hard to believe that he's no more. Like I understand, like I'm on this live here. I'm not here to pass any blame to anybody because doing so is just so wrong. It's just so wrong. These are parents who've only just lost. I mean, for Chioma, Ifeanyi is her only child for now, and it's so sad that this is what's happened to her. I mean, parents, I know there'll be a time we want maybe some kind of space away from our children. There's no harm in leaving our children to go somewhere. Like, you're going for an event and you want to have a good time with your partner or your husband. It's all right to leave your kid with responsible people. And I believe both Chioma and Davido are responsible that they have lots of staff, lots of help to look after this child while they were away. I mean, they were not even away for the entire day. They were only away for, I mean, they've not even been away for 24 hours for this kind of news to break. Even right now, I'm struggling here to, like, I've gone to watch other channels. Welcome Banigos, welcome Vivian TV. Sorry, I didn't notice you guys. I'm just in my thoughts here, like, I mean, flipping through all the news on social media that says that actually this baby is gone. I mean, it's only a baby, only a baby. It's just so unreal. Like, how, how, how? And I know all these houses that are being built in Lekki nowadays. They don't use all these cheap doors that we find in some houses in Lagos. So there's a lot of questions as to how that boy was able to walk out of his room or where he was meant to be sleeping. Because I was reading something earlier on social media that the nanny said he or she, I don't know if this nanny is a male or a female, that she did not know how he walked out of the room, out of the house. Like, how is that possible? And I believe that Davido's house is manned with lots of staffs all about. There's a lot of people in Davido's house. So I don't know when this event incident happened. Was it at night? Was it during the day? Because if it was at night, it might have been difficult for people to notice that it was in the compound. But then it would have been a compound that has a lot of light around. The compound would have been well lit for them to see who's going about everywhere in the compound. But then my question still remains: how was this boy able to either leave his bed, his bedroom, open the main door to the house, and walk straight into that pool? How did that happen? How did that happen? I mean, while I was setting up this live here now, I received a text message from my daughter's school to say no because they have a live. I mean, they have a mass in a church just like 2 minutes away from their school, and they are to come into school at 11 o'clock. Well, my own daughter has left home since 8 o'clock this morning, so instantly I grabbed my phone to like, where are you? Your school just so she's replied me back saying, "Oh, mommy, I'm just in the school." So that is a reassuring for me. So the school will not allow them out. But this is a child, like he's a baby. Or I'm still using is because I don't want to believe that he's away. I don't want to believe that he is gone. And there's a lot of conspiracies going on right now online. And I just wish that people would just stop all these conspiracies. We understand that Davido is a man with is a young man with lots of women in his life, like lots of baby mamas in his life. There's been conspiracies about conspiracies going on that it's not natural, that his son being taken away from him, that it was a planned work. And people are pointing at his baby mamas, saying they should interrogate his baby mamas as well, that they would know something about, like, people, why are we saying this? This is not just the right time for this. I believe whatever conspiracies that might be going on, this is not the time for us to start saying that. This is a time for us to kind of like, this is a young boy who's not even started his life. He is a baby. 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 And I'm still struggling, like really, really struggling to figure out how he was able to leave his the main, like where people are sitting, and he left the house, he left the room to go wander into that pool. Like it's so sad. I'm here glancing through, like scrolling through Punch, scrolling through Linda KG official. Like if there's any update, obviously there's been updates saying that the member of staff, like 8 of them, have been arrested by the police. I understand where his parents are coming from. Obviously, they've left their child in the care of responsible people, if I should say in quotes, because obviously if they're not responsible enough, his parents wouldn't have left him to them to look after. So it's just normal for his parents to feel this way. And I want to believe that this was actually a mistake that could have been avoided. I don't want to believe that there's somebody behind this. I don't want to believe that this is a planned anything. I don't want to believe this is the case, because right now I'm struggling as a mom myself. I've got 5 kids. The last time there, I mean, was it 2 weeks ago? A girl was in a fight with my son on the bus. And because my son did not come home to tell me about it, and then he went to school, somebody beat up my son in school. You needed to see how crazy, how mad I was, that my son was accosted outside of school. Somebody harassed him and he defended himself. And this person who harassed my son met my son again in school and beat up my son. I was crazy. I was raging mad. You can imagine if I could feel that way because somebody beat up, like punched my son in school. God forbid I lose a child. I mean, you can imagine I mean, I wish you guys saw how I was raging when the school called me to say that my son was beaten up by another boy in school. I felt like flying straight to that school to deal with that child, and as well, like, shout at the school to say, why would you allow this be? Because my son has been having issue with so person. That is just somebody beating my child. You can imagine, like, the loss of a child in a situation whereby it could have been avoided, in a situation whereby it could have been prevented. Like in my head, I'm just thinking this baby's death was a preventable one. Where were those 8 staffs, the nannies, the cooks? Was there a gate man? Was there not a gate man? Did they not have a gate man? And all of those staffs that I see you frolicking about in the widow's compound, where were they? Regardless of what time of day it was that this boy wandered out of the house, there must be somebody, one person. There must be one person. at some point in that compound that will have observed that boy. Yeah, we know this is an active boy. If you don't have a male child, that is when you say. In fact, it's not even male children that are only active. All children of that age are active. Trust me. Children of that age, toddlers, the terrible twos, that's what they call them. They are all active, but boys tends to be much more active. And I just, it's hard. It's just really, really hard and sad to believe that that boy was, his life was cut short. I'm here looking at the video of his third year birthday. It was so full of life. You know, if you see his, if you look at his face, if you're already having a bad day and you look at that boy's face, can you see how his face brightens up the room? His face alone is like a bright shining light. Like looking at his face alone will brighten up your day. I'm here looking at the picture of his parents holding him, you know, like the family picture. And it's so sad. Honestly, it's so sad. It's so sad. And should we say his dad did a bad thing having a pool in his home? Here also, I'm scrolling through, watching the video of where the video was just, you know, in the pool with him. Also, there's been conspiracies saying that it was, I mean, it's only three that it shouldn't have been introduced to the pool that early. I mean, as an active child, as a son whose father, or obviously his father is teaching him, and I know babies they will always want to try things on their own. Madi going 365. I woke up with this on my mind this morning. Oh Chioma, oh Davido. Honestly, it's an heartbreaking story. It's so heartbreaking. Like, you know, I wouldn't have actually come out here, but it's just a lot of conspiracies going on right now. Like, you know, I was watching Choice TV streaming this yesterday, and there were talks about the age that it was too young to have been introduced to the pool. I won't doubt that because there's a popular YouTuber that I follow as well. Our daughter has only just turned 2, and she will take this daughter of hers to the swimming pool, I think almost every week. So this is like a public swimming pool, like in a sports center. That's where she takes her daughter to. So I will believe that as the mom, she's training her child to learn how to swim. And with this kind of pool in sports centers, there are lots of swimming, I mean, teachers and coaches like that, but that are actually manning, there will be staff manning the swimming pool. God forbid anything should happen. If a parent is training their child in the water, they'll be there to kind of like assist. So I mean, this is a child who is 2 years old, and her mom is the one training her. And I also left a comment in that live stream to say, no, my daughter, which I was just talking to you guys about, she's only 10. She's in primary 7 here in the UK. And she has, it was just 3 weeks ago that she had her first ever swimming lesson. So I won't blame Davido for introducing his child to swimming at that age. Obviously, he's got an active child. And if you think you are, I mean, obviously, Davido is like, Gen Z generation that wants to like, you want to introduce your children to things, you know, to encourage them to kind of like start things as soon as possible, you know, to highlight them, you know, the kind of lifestyle. It depends on the kind of lifestyle the parent lives, that you also want to showcase that kind of lifestyle in your child's life. So Davido wanting to introduce his child, his son, to swimming, it's not a bad thing. Like, I mean, if I was 3 years old and my parents had the capacity to enroll me or teach me how to swim. I mean, there are children who are not even 16 years old who are already learning to drive. Official age, they will say is 16 years old to drive. But I've seen other children, well, even when I was a teenager, children were like 14, 15. They could drive. I learned to drive in my 30s. And I know some of my friends who've learned to drive since the age of 15. So it's not the parents' fault to actually to introduce them to water that early. And also in other countries as well, there are kind of like legal age for when you can introduce a child to swimming. And there's a time, like my daughter now, like I was saying earlier on, she's only 10. She's only just had her first official swimming lesson, and it was through the school. And before this went on, they kind of like sent a consent letter home that, you know what, they are starting swimming lessons, that am I happy for my daughter to partake in it? And I had to ask her, like, Maria, your school sent a letter that they're going to start swimming lessons. Are you happy? And she was like, yes, mommy, yes, I want to. Obviously, she doesn't know how to swim because I've never taken her to swim. Even me that I'm talking, I don't know how to swim. I am not ashamed to say that I don't know how to swim because I've got the fear of water. Like, no, I don't know how to swim. So you won't see me going to a swimming pool any day anytime soon. So I asked her if she really want to learn to swim. She said yes, and then I signed the letter. So that's me committing the safety of my child to the school, and I know the school will not allow any chance, will not give room to anything that would jeopardize my daughter's life when it comes to swimming. So if my daughter said, "Oh, mommy, I don't feel comfortable. I don't want to learn to swim," yes, she has every right. And as a parent, if my child has said that to me, I would not sign that consent form. Thanks, guys, for this show of condolences. Let us go to their pages and just say a word of prayer. Remember them in your prayers with them. He's an absolute happy boy. He's a happy boy. So I won't say there's an issue. I won't blame his father at all for introducing him to water. I mean, if I have the luxury, my children will all learn to drive at the age of 10. If I have the luxury, yes. If I have the luxury, all my kids will learn how to swim starting from age 3 or age 5. So is Davido is wanting a good start, a good thing, like he's building up the skills of his son. So it's not a bad thing for him to have introduced his son to swimming at that age. And hi Rebel, good morning from Virginia. Happy November, Rebel. So people should stop with all these conspiracies of he was too young to have been introduced to water. No, we should stop that. This is not the time for us to start doing that. And there's also another conspiracy going on as well, that obviously Chioma and Davido, they've only just got back together, that people are not happy for them being together, that they could have maybe instigated members of his staffs to do that. I don't think, well, I was not there when this happened, and I don't think anybody in their right senses will do that to that child. I don't want to believe that somebody is behind that child ending up in a pool. All I'm saying is that this is just a child. Obviously, his dad he's been introduced to the water. He just want to practice what he's been taught to do. I don't want to believe that somebody had a hand on how that boy ended up in the bottom of the pool. I don't want to believe so. Because is it the kindness of Davido, what he does? How long ago was it that he raised 100 million naira or even much more, and which he donated to lots of charities in Nigeria? I wouldn't know. It's kindness, even if it's not good in any other way. But the kindness that I for myself have seen in public eye, I don't think anybody will want to go down that lane and do such to that boy. Is a very very sad story. It's a very very sad story, and this sad story also happens to Dibanj as well. Dibanj is another popular Nigerian singer who actually had a pool in his house as well, and his son drowned in the pool. I don't know if he's been maybe I don't know if he introduced his son to the water or if he's introduced his son to swimming, but he also lost a child. But in this case, please, people should desist from saying his baby mamas could have a hand in this boy's death. People should refrain from saying that there's a conspiracy that maybe because his staffs had something in it for him and they decided to hurt him. I don't want to believe this is a handwork of any of his staffs. I heard 8 of his staff now are in police custody. It's normal for a parent to act that way, and they'll be investigated, obviously questioned. And I hope this is just a legitimate mistake, a mistake that could have been prevented, But unfortunately, the life of this handsome boy is so hard. I don't want to use the boy. I don't want to use the word was because I'm still believing this boy is with us. I still want to believe that he is with us. I don't want to believe that he's gone. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to. It's hard. I mean, what do you guys think? Leave your comments there. It's a very sad, sad, sad loss. Seeing all of the Nigerian Nollywood, posting pictures. Enola posted Enola Badmus. We all know how she's been very, very close to Davido. She posted an emoji of a broken heart. Yaba Ojo also posted that she really doesn't want to believe this rude shock. So, in as much as I don't want this to be a true story, but the way, I mean, obviously, when you see people, the way people have been posting on Instagram right now, it seems that's what's happened. That this boy is actually gone. He was only 36 months old. He was only 36 months old. His birthday was just less than 2 weeks ago. It's absolutely sad, mind blowing. It's sad. Honestly, it's sad. There's lots of, like, lots of stories and lots of things, like people saying things, no matter what the situation is that people are going through, people will always come up with something. I was reading on Facebook under a comment. I wish I'm able to show you guys. Maybe there'll be a video whereby I'm able to kind of bring these conspiracies, like what people have been saying. They were saying that maybe um that it's got to do with like Illuminati and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I just wanna say to people to just kind of like do away with those stories. I don't care. I don't care what Davido has in his cupboard. I don't care what Davido's parents has in their closet. I don't care whatever Davido has inserted himself into. But this boy is an innocent child, a boy so full of life, a happy boy. I'm just here watching his videos. And one thing I want people to stop as well, you people should just stop with all these crying, stupid videos of you crying and recording yourself. You lost, you are crying because the video lost some. Please, can you just put away with that mentality? I don't know where all of that erupted from. You are crying and you've got the camera to your face and you are recording you're filming yourself crying. Like, it doesn't bring anything to the parents who are mourning their child. It doesn't bring anything to them. So please, if you're going to cry, cry in your private and remember them in your in your prayers. But you putting the camera on your face, crying, and then having the audacity to post it on social media, you're just a disgrace to humanity, disgrace to mothers, disgrace to other families who may be mourning a family member right now, wherever they may be. Because your crying does not do anything other than you. Placing that camera on your face crying. Why don't you drop that camera to a corner? Remember those families, remember Chioma and Davido in your prayers. Like, God should give them the fortitude to bear the loss. God should give them God should give them the heart to be able to come to terms with what has happened, and so that they don't blame themselves for what has happened. Pray, because the way it is, Davido is young, Chioma is young as well. For them to have to deal with this, for them to have to deal with this. In fact, I don't even want to know how they are feeling, because I don't pray to ever lose a child. So they are both young, and for this to be happening to them, you just want to be pray, like, just want to remember them in your prayers and say, "Oh God, give them the fortitude to bear this loss. Oh God, give them the heart to be thankful and not to blame themselves for what has happened to their son." Because with everything that is surrounding this boy's death, it happened in the house his father built, it happened in the pool his father built. That alone, do you know how much guilt could be going through the father's mind? Talk more of the mom. Do you know what Chioma has gone through? Do you know what Chioma has gone through? Trying to keep a stabilized home for this boy. They got back together not quite long ago, only for them to lose this boy weeks after. And I was reading something as well, that there was a revelation. I can't remember what page, whose page I saw it from. I think it was someone they said was close to the family, said that there was a revelation that something like this was going to happen, but they took it for granted. I don't know how true that was, but I saw that post on someone who kind of, they said this person was close to the family, but this person said, well, like, what, there was a revelation that, I'm saying this in quote now, that there was a revelation, we took it for granted. Oh God, forgive us. That was exactly what that message said. So what happened must have come as a revelation in a different way. But obviously, what revelation comes, and we might not take the revelation serious. Somebody might dream and say, oh, they dreamt so person had an accident. So Davido might be thinking, oh, I'm just citing an example here. Davido might be thinking, oh, now that won't be us. Only for that thing to kind of like happen to somebody closer to him, or to even somebody far away, not even closer to him, you know. So I read that this morning, like saying, oh, there was a revelation. And I also was reading a comment also this morning. Somebody said that this is allegedly now that they said Chioma's house also caught fire a few weeks ago, that it was not really shared in the social media. So I don't know how true that was, you know. I'm just gonna read the comment here. Banigos, thank you, Banigos, for coming. So women, I'm just showing the comments here. Women, be more responsible. If you are too responsible to take care of your own child, don't get married. How my I totally disagree with you. It's not as if Chioma left this child. No, this child was in Davido's house with 8 members of staffs who are meant to look after this boy. So it's not a matter of she being irresponsible. It's not a matter of both of them being irresponsible. They are a young couple, they are rich, they could afford the resources, and they've provided that resources for that child to be looked after while they were away. So I would say maybe those people who were asked to look after this child were the irresponsible ones. Maybe they were sitting down somewhere watching on their mobile phone, playing, or even calling up to their boyfriends or girlfriends, and then they left this boy to wander out of the house. So I disregard, I mean, I do not agree with you there. Also, Rebel said, this is a reminder that we as mothers and fathers have to be very cautious of who we leave our kids with, especially family. So yes, you are right, Rebel. It's absolutely great. I mean, it's absolutely true. I would imagine that, I mean, in Nigeria, we have lots of families around us, and you can easily leave your child with any family member. But for this couple, they are quite rich, absolutely stinking rich. Um, I believe they provided the best for them. So with the way I'm saying this is just like it was just a mistake that could have been avoided, because from the comments I've read, they were like, these houses have heavily built doors. So how this boy was able to open the door without them not noticing it, leaving the house, is what they don't know. So we were not living in with them. I was not living in it. I don't know the structure of the house. What if the door was left opened? Could it be that was just one of those evenings where people are coming in and going in, and this boy just, just we don't know. We don't know. And I'm kind of like going to be actually be following this story to actually know more about how this boy got to leave the house, you know. So we really don't know the full story here. We really don't know the real story here. It's just that this couple, they are so lovely together, absolutely lovely together. You know, every time I see them, I just wish I'm younger again. I just wish I'm younger again. Every time I look at their pictures, I see any post about them. I often wish I am that age again, so I could, I could show affection like that again. But looking at them, they're absolutely beautiful together. Only for this to happen to them. It's so sad. It's absolutely sad, you know. Oga, if I'm David, I will go and find out what happened to my child. He can't just go and jump into the pool like that. Yeah, that's what we are saying here. That I would be happy to find out, would want to know how that boy ended up in the bottom of the pool, which means that the 8 members of staffs that were in that house, especially the nanny, where was he or she? If I were to be that boy's nanny, I will have like a rope. I will tie myself on one hand and I will tie him on one hand. Anywhere he goes, we go together. Because I'm sure whoever the nanny is, you'll be paid stinking salary, that you'll be paid a lot of money to look after that child. And from comments that I've been reading on social media, they're like, there's a cook who actually cooked that boy's food. There's a steady nanny who is meant to be at his beck and call. So that nanny who is meant to be at that boy's beck and call, where was she? What was she doing? There's a lot of questions to be asked. And like I said, there's lots of controversies. Like there's a lot of what if. There's a lot of, people in their third minds thinking, oh, this was what happened. People saying baby mama's being involved, people saying is maybe people that do not like the video that they conspired. There's lots of conspiracy, just like I said, that there's lots of conspiracy, but we don't know. If anybody want to contribute to this, let me know. If you want to join the live, I'm can happy invite you. And it's really, really sad. Like, I mean, mistakes like this do happen because there are lots of there've been lots of, even in the American news, I've seen news of where parents will leave their house with their child in the car with the hope that they were going to drop their child at nursery or school, only for them to drive past the child's school, drive to their own work, and forget the child in the car. You know, but this is totally different. In this case, this is a child that has been left in the care of supposedly responsible people, and it's so sad that this boy is away now. It's so sad. We were all looking forward to this couple, tying the knot next year, as Davido mentioned or Davido highlighted, only for this to happen. I'm going to be on this live for a while because it's just I'm trying to see updated information on what's going on here. There's lots of messages from the social media, social media people, saying, sharing their condolences. It's absolutely sad, absolutely sad. So the news is that the members of staff who were meant to be caring for this boy, they've been arrested, and they are being arrested for questioning. And according to the police, they said whoever that they do not feel has any issue with this child, or whoever they feel is not to be held liable for this child, will be released as soon as possible. You know, so I'm just going to read the messages from some of the celebrities that has actually said messages here. So actor Williams Uchemba said, "Please say a prayer for David, Chioma, and the entire family. Nobody deserves this kind of pain. Rest up, little one." So that was from Williams Uchemba. Muiwa Ademola, one of the Nigerian Hollywood actors, also said this on his Instagram page. "It is one of the saddest things when kids are being buried by parents. We not bury our children. This is a very sad. This is a very sad occurrence. We really wish it never happened. May the Almighty give the parents and the entire Adeleke family the strength to bear this loss. Rest in peace, champ." And actress Yaba Ojo also said, "I don't even know how to react to this rude shock. I was hoping it wasn't true. Even right now, as I'm sitting here, I'm hoping that they will come and say, 'Oh no, this is a prank.' But then nobody pranks, nobody says such pranks, nobody uses such prank. That boy is just too sweet. That boy is just too innocent for. I mean, no parents. I think nobody should come here and use it and say and and use such as a prank. It's I'm trying to hold myself here. I'm trying to hold myself here. It's a very, very sad. It's sad, 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 sad. Knowing what surrounds these people's this is not a Twitter. This is my Instagram, my Yahoo, I mean my YouTube page. If you want me to invite you, I can invite you. Is that Joe Willie Joe? I will send a link here. I'll post a link into the comment section. If you want to join this live, feel free to join. I've posted the link. I've posted the link in the comment section. So if you wanna join, just go through that link and then I can add you hopefully. So I'm just reading the comments here. It's a very, very sad, you know, it's a very sad news to wake up to. Like when I read the news this morning, my it was as if I was reading. It was as if my site was not working well. It's sad. It's sad that this happened to this young couple. They are so young. I know people were like, "Oh, they are young. They can have more babies," but it's just not about having more babies. That boy was meant to be Chioma's first child, first and only child. She's only got one with Davido so far. That was her only son, and that happened to her. And how old is Chioma? I don't know how old Chioma is, and I think Davido was just about turning 30 as well. And this sad news happened. It's so sad. And people should stop chasing clout. I've seen some people saying loads of things like, the one that is annoying me the most is the fact that people are coming with camera on their faces and crying. Like, why are you crying? What are you crying for? Your crying does not it's not going to change anything. What you should be doing is praying for this couple. They are very, very young to be going through this. Very, very young. Very, very young. I lost my uncle. I mean, this is an elderly person, but lost him by 4 years ago or something. When I heard the news, I didn't cry. But yearly on that day, I just don't know what goes through my system. But this is a child, a young child. Like, it's sad. So I'm reading from Gold Mine Net TV now, saying Lagos Police Command says 8 Davido's domestic staff brought in for questioning over the death of Davido's son, Ifeanyi. The Lagos State Police Command has confirmed the death of Ifeanyi. So it's actually true. I'm afraid to mention that. it's actually been confirmed that IFEANYI is gone. That innocent angel, that 36-month-old child is gone. So, okay, William, you are here. Let's see if I can. Okay, I've added you now. Are you here?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. William. Nice to meet you. Welcome to my live.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll
No,
just I just came across your chat on obviously on YouTube. So
mm,
it's kind of it's a shocking news to the world, isn't it? I mean, I'm not a Nigerian. I live in the UK. I'm a Ghanaian living in the UK,
oh, all right, okay.
and it's sudden. Honestly, it's so bizarre that they had like 8 people apparently in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And normally, like when you have a child around, normally, especially when the child is like 3, is it 3 years or 4?
Yeah, he's three. Yeah, 36
It's
months. He's
3.
three.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 3 years, you normally hear in a normal, typical home, you hear
Mm-hmm.
stop it, because that child
Yeah.
is doing
Mm-hmm.
something, jumping around. And with
Yeah.
all these people in the house, and nobody is saying stop it, obviously
Exactly.
something wasn't right. Where,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of them actually. It's just bizarre, honestly.
I know. I mean, like just like I've said, like even when my kids were young, yeah. If I
Yeah.
if the house goes suddenly quiet and I know they are in the house, it will not even
Yeah,
take me another minute. I need to go and check where they are. Like, why is sudden quietness? Like, why is everywhere got silent? So it's just
exactly.
like, for the fact that this boy is a very active boy, and they did
Yeah,
not see him for the first 2 3 minutes. I mean, they should just know that something is fishy. Somebody should have gone to look for him.
exactly. I
It's
mean,
really
and like I was saying, I mean, you normally hear "stop it." Everybody say, "Oh, stop it! Oh, be careful! Stop it!" And
mhm,
it's not, it's not any other child. It's
so
Davido's child. I mean,
exactly.
it's probably in that house. That child is
They
the
will be
most
after him
pampered
like
child.
they should be after him like the way ants will be or the way ants will be,
Yeah,
you know. So it's that's why I'm starting to think that all these conspiracies that I've been hearing might be true.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
maybe because I don't want to be the one to be saying this, but that's what I've been reading online saying that the baby mamas should be questioned.
yeah.
They've kind of like spoken to some of the nannies to say, "Oh, okay, do this, we do this, I'll give you that." But then, who in their right senses is Davido not paying the staffs really well for a member of staff to want to do that to his child? And just like I
Exactly.
said earlier on, that Davido, I don't know him in person. We all love his songs, and is a selfless person. Was it not
Yeah,
earlier on this year, or was it last year that he raised 100 million naira or even more, and that money went into all charities in Nigeria? So
you
why
know.
would somebody now want to say, okay, okay, what how much are they going to pay his staff or his nanny to harm his son, to harm his child? Like, who in their right senses? But then
Doesn't
again,
make sense.
these are
Yeah.
these are things that people are saying that it's not natural, like there's something behind it. So I just don't want to believe that. I just want to believe that this is a very hard mistake that could have been prevented.
Yeah.
Obviously, like you have a pool in your house. If it's not in use, cover it up. You know, that's what
Oh,
people
yeah.
say. That if you have a pool in your house, if you're not using it and you've got kids in the house, and you think that people will learn from it, because the same happened to Deband. Deband also lost a son who drowned in the pool as well. People have been saying that, but then with somebody who has somebody actually at the beck and call of that child covering a pool, you won't think your child will end up in a pool when you have 8 people in the house.
It's
So
it's just a bizarre. I mean, it's I mean, they had a birthday a couple of days ago, isn't it,
yeah, I
for
mean,
the
I'm looking at
child?
the picture here, and I'm like, I was grinning face to
Yeah.
face, like looking at the picture, looking at where he sat down with this plastic with a toy phone, trying to maybe be sitting with one other girl at the party there, having fun. And I was watching another video of when he was trying to eat a cake off a table. You know, it's so sad that
But I was telling someone this morning that how many times sometimes we take these things for granted. Like
Mhm.
you may attend. a child's party, and especially within the African context. And I say African context.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's a child's party. However, as the party is going on, you realize that the adults have taken over the party, and even the child who is celebrating their birthday cannot even be seen.
Yeah. True.
In the
Yeah,
midst of everything.
I've noticed that a lot too. Yeah.
Y-
So
Yeah.
mm,
So I mean, the only thing I could think of is maybe all these adults in the house were seriously, yeah, whatever they were engaged in, whether watching a movie or partying, and they actually, suddenly forgot that there's actually a child
a
around.
child in the house,
But yeah.
possibly, possibly, possibly. I was looking at that. I mean, that tends to happen a lot in Nigeria as well. Like, there'll be a 1 year. Like for me, I do not celebrate any of my children's party because I'm just like age one, two, three, four. They really don't know what's going on around them. You're just kind of like giving them that pressure, like putting them out there. Maybe from the age of 6, 7, they know that, oh yes, it's my birthday. They're actually saying I want a party, but you can imagine a boy with a very influential parent. I mean, a very influential father, 3 year old party. Maybe they only just gave them like an hour of activity. And then before you know it, all the adults were all over the place, shaking bomb bomb, doing all sort of things, whereby the child was the center of attraction, really not there, you know. But it's sad. Like just these commenters, just like Joy or Kafo, I just recently that they said that the thick door was locked. That is, the door to the house was locked. How did he now open the door and walk outside without anyone noticing? To the extent that he stayed in the water for so long, it only take a child, especially the one that don't know how to swim, a couple of minutes to drown. Because I was looking at the video of where Davido was in the pool with that boy. That pool is deep. Looking at Davido should be about 5'6" tall, and while he was in that pool, it was up to like his neck. You can only see Davido's head. So I'm believing that pool is about 5'6" deep. So a boy as young as Ifeanyi is a baby. It will take a couple of minutes for him to drown, and he does not know how to swim either. So it's sad. It's sad. Anyway, thanks, William, for joining in. I really appreciate you being a part of this. Thank you so much. I just want us, like, if you are in my live, please don't forget to like this live. I know it's not the right atmosphere to be liking, to be asking for such, but we are all here, as parents, as loved, I mean, as someone who cares about these people. For me, like if I Davido songs on my phone 247. I listen to his song, even though I don't appreciate his lifestyle, like the way he goes about with women. I really don't fancy that, but I like his songs. But then they are a young couple. They've lost a happy son. They've lost a very happy, handsome, jovial, smart son. And I just can't think of what they may be going through right now, especially the mother. You know, been through a lot to have that child, and then she now had the child, got back to with his father a few weeks after, hosted a 3 year old birthday for her son less than 2 weeks ago, only for this boy to pass away. Only for this boy to pass away. It's so sad. So, guys, remember them in your prayer. I know there's a lot of things going on in the world right now that we should be praying about, but this couple are young. Let us remember them in our prayers. Pray that God give them the fortitude to bear the loss. Pray that hopefully this brings them much more closer than we could ever imagine, so they can both, you know, both move past this. I know it's easier said than done, but this is a child. But I pray that this brings them much more closer and they are both there for each other at this trying time. And if peradventure somebody is deemed responsible for this child's loss, I pray the hands of justice. I mean, I pray the hands of justice meets this person. Thank you, Lady Jack Speaks. Thanks for coming in. I don't want to believe anybody has a hand in the death of this boy, but if after investigations that it happens to be so, I pray justice is served for this boy. I pray justice is served for him, and I just pray his family, God just consoles his family and be with them, because this is a very, very tragic news. Like, I'm still sitting here looking at his picture from his birthday, from when he was trying to hit the cake. I wish I'm able to share the video with you guys here. From when he was trying to eat the cake, you know. I was also watching the video of when they were trying to take a picture of him and his dad was behind him because he won't sit still for the picture. His dad was holding his jumper at the back, and as he was trying to get off, those are happy memories, and I hope those videos will help keep him alive in his parents' memory. It's just so sad. Like, it's sad. I still don't want to believe this is happening. This has happened. So also at the same time, while I was reading this as well, I was, one of the videos, last, I think was his last song, where he released that song called "Stand Strong." I just believe this song kind of like replicates this atmosphere right now. I've been listening to that since I heard of his song passing this morning on Spotify as well. Juliet Ugochi. I don't believe this either, but unfortunately, it's been confirmed that their son has passed away. It's hard, but yeah, obviously people are like, oh, the parents have not come out to say it, but no parent wants to come out to announce the death of their child. No, because just like we read there that when the news was broken that Davido and Chioma has been taken to Davido's father's house, and nobody, no external people are allowed in Davido's father's house. So I believe they should be left in peace. They should be left alone. Whichever way that this news has broken, because obviously Chioma has not come out to say this is what's happened. Davido has not come out to say this is what's happened. But I don't know how the news was able to get out to the public. But whichever way that news was able to get out, there's a news from the police there that, yeah, that they said when they were saying that they've arrested the 8 members, so they've confirmed the death of this child. But I wouldn't be expecting the parents to come out and say, oh yes, they lost their child. It might not be now, but I'm hope at some point they probably would. And people who are close to them have kind of like come out to kind of like in a way say to us that this child has passed on. Sophia Ellis said the baby is still alive. Well, we are still all over the social media news, and from the latest news I've just read from Goldmine TV there about the police. So we all are open that this baby is alive. But from the news we are hearing so far, and from the news from the police saying they've arrested 8 staffs in relating to the demise of this boy, I guess we are all praying, in as much as it's hard to believe, we are praying that this news is not true. But there's a lot of departments, I mean, areas saying this baby is no more. I I wish somebody would just say no. This right, Sophia. I believe I'm not the only one who is actually talking about this. So do not bring any negativity to this live right now. If you don't want to listen to what has been said so far, you can easily exclude yourself from this live. Okay. So if I'm saying that is what we are reading here, do not. I mean, we are not laughing here. We are not laughing. We are not smiling. We are not joking. In as much as we all are hoping that this boy is alive, but we've seen people who are closer to these people saying this is what's going on. I mean, no parent will come out and play a joke and say their son or their child is no more. So just like as I was saying that whichever way this news has come out, I mean, BBC Live has its on, Punch has its on. It's just not as if maybe somebody woke up on YouTube this morning and shared this tragic news. No. So I know it's hard for us all to believe. Right here, like as I'm sitting here, I'm hoping this is not true. I'm hoping that in the next minute when I go back onto Instagram, I'm reading saying that IFEANYI is fine. I'm hoping to read that. But while we are still waiting, and according to the reports from Punch News about the arrest, I really do not have any other thing to say. I know we're all pained in a way. Obviously, we are fans. We are pained, but we can't be as pained as those who are actually really, really close to this person or to these people. So, right, I probably should come to an end on this live because I don't want a situation whereby we're going to have to start exchanging words or exchanging negativity with each other, because this life, it's not really about that at all. I've just come here to kind of like, pray that I'm open, and I'm still hoping that this rumor is not true. I want to believe that maybe this happened, but they've been able to revive this child and is under treatment. That is what I'm hoping, that they were able to revive this child and is receiving treatment in hospital. This is what I am praying for. And I just pray that if there's anyone who actually has a hand in what is happening or has happened to this boy, I pray the hands of justice catches up with them, and God should hold their delicate family. So, guys, thank you so much all for joining this live. I'm just gonna go now, and hopefully, we are able to get a happy news at some point. But in the meantime, keep praying for this family. All right. Thank you all. Bye.